Jo Lockett.
I am.
And I understand you set up the Solarplicity complaints form, is that right?
I did, yes, back in June 2018.
So over a year now.
Yeah.
And how many people are on the form?
I think it's 785.
Right.
Yes.
And what sort of issues are they raising?
From can't get their energy swapped over. No one knows about the 25-year contract. They thought they were just signing for a survey.
Let me talk about the signing issue, really, because a lot of people talk about signing an iPad. Now, from that, I understand they never saw a paper contract. Were you given a paper contract?
No, nothing at all. Nothing was explained regarding what these contracts were, and it was just Poppy's signature on here to say I've done a survey.
Now that's something I've heard quite a lot, is we want to do a survey to see if we can put solar panels on your roof, sign this for us to do a survey. Next minute they know they're signed up to a contract, which means that Solarplicity have to supply the energy and you're renting out your roof space for 25 years. Have you heard?
Yeah,
did that happen
that's
to you?
right, yes. I didn't know until June this year when I spoke to Ross Mitchell from Solarplicity, and he actually sent me a copy of my email contract with everything on it,
right,
stating exactly what I'd signed up for. And apparently at the time I'd give permission to have my signature copied and pasted onto 3 different contracts.
Right, so let me just understand this. Another thing that we've been hearing is that signatures have been, you signed once, that signature's been lifted, put onto another contract, lifted again, put onto another part of a contract.
That's it, yes.
And by signing the first time, it gives them permission to lift your signature and put it onto a different part of the contract, or a different contract.
Yeah, one's a variation agreement for my tenancy, which is the council.
Yeah.
That's one of them. The other one is something to do with RAC, Solarplicity RAC Limited.
RAC Limited is the company that supply the solar panels. It's all part of Solarplicity.
Yeah, and then obviously the other signature is to do with Solarplicity.
Right, so have you been looking at Solarplicity on Companies House and seeing what businesses they have?
Yes, that's all I seem to do. They have quite a few businesses. I am in contact with Company House because at the moment the council contract is with Solarplicity Assets. Now, according to Company House, that doesn't exist.
What? So the council have an agreement with a company called Solarplicity Assets. Company House says
it doesn't exist.
There is no such company.
No, but that's who we've got our contracts with.
But then Solarplicity have gone bust. They've gone into administration. So is this another Solarplicity? Is it another type part of the company?
I think it's another part of Solarplicity, just different name.
Right. And have you spoken to anybody who used to work at Solarplicity?
I've spoken to quite a few people.
And what do they say, generally? What's going on?
I don't think they understand to the full what is going on. All they have said is David Alborn is a very clever man and he will just keep changing companies' names. You'll never catch up with him.
Right. And in relation to how many people it's affected in Stoke itself, have you spoken to many people about Solarplicity?
I have actually been going around knocking on doors, and the vulnerable haven't got the internet, so they aren't aware of the Facebook page, and there's hundreds more people who still don't know about what's going on because they haven't got the internet. They can't see what's going on, and these, you're talking 18, 90 years old who don't know anything about what's going on.
What about people, or how this has affected some people? Have you spoken to people who have been upset or stressed by the issue?
Upset? I had one named John, and he phoned me, and he was a mess, and he actually told me on the phone because of Solarplicity he was actually going to commit suicide.
And what about anybody that may become physically ill as a result, or gone to hospital? Have you heard anything about those situations?
I actually had, there was one gentleman who had Solarplicity come to their property, fell through his roof, straight onto him, and put him in hospital.
Right. What sort of?
Through the ceiling.
Through the
Yeah,
ceiling?
came through the ceiling, landed on him, and put him in hospital.
Initially, those that came round and were putting in meters, I understand that some of those meters were in plastic boxes. Have you heard about this?
I have, yes. I've actually had pictures sent to me with the plastic boxes, and obviously ex-workers have stated they are illegal and they shouldn't even be in the property.
Illegal because they were fire arrests?
They were a fire hazard with them being plastic. And yesterday I actually had one sent to me.
A picture?
A picture
Right.
with that plastic box.
Right. So still they haven't been changed?
No, no.
And what about people who have been putting solar panels on the roof? Have you seen actually workmen on the roof putting these on? Have you had pictures of people?
I have, yes. I actually went to an estate, Newstead, and I actually caught them, one boy walking up a ladder, the 2-storey ladders in the pouring rain with a solar panel on his back with no harness, absolutely nothing. I actually rang health and safety while I was there watching him.
Because a lot of these engineers, companies that have been put out for franchise by Solarplicity, so they don't even work for Solarplicity, they were franchised out. I've been hearing people tell me that some of them were not qualified to actually put solar panels on the roof. Have you heard anything about that?
I've heard the same thing from an ex-Solarplicity worker who stated and actually pointed out the guy on the roof who were reported hadn't had no training at all. He's not got no certificates whatsoever to be on that roof.
So we've got a combination of bad engineers, poor workmanship sometimes, people falling through roof, people being made ill as a result of Solarplicity. But what about billing? Have people been receiving bills? Have they been the right bills for the electricity that have been generated?
Well, before all this came with Toto changing over to with us,
So just for
it was
Solarplicity
they didn't send people any bills.
Well, before we go there, just so we know, so when Solarplicity went bankrupt, just before they did that, 2 weeks before they did that, they sold all their contracts for everybody in Stoke to a new company called Toto. So when you say just before it went over to Toto, carry on, I'm sorry.
Nobody had any bills.
At all?
People are still actually waiting for their first bill. And you're talking between 6 and 12 months still waiting for their bill. And now the people who are actually having bills are having horrendous threatening letters, emails sent through,
So
demanding the money and bailiffs.
And bailiffs?
And bailiffs, yeah.
So is that from Toto or Solarplicity?
That's Solarplicity.
The administrators?
The administrators.
For Solarplicity?
And it's actually been stated on the email as they are estimated bills, they're not accurate bills.
So they actually haven't gone out and actually done any readings?
There's no readings, it's just an estimated bill which states on the email they are estimated.
Right.
But if you don't pay this within 14 days, you'll have bailiffs and it'll affect your credit rating.
And the Toto, so this is the new company that has taken over. Now we know, because people who have looked at Solarplicity on the website, they have a very poor rating for customer service. I think which put them down as the lowest rated customer service for an energy supply company. Have you heard anything negative or positive about Toto?
Well, actually there's a forum on Twitter as well, and there's a lot of people complaining on there because now Toto have got all the company names, they are actually stopping everybody from switching.
Switching to
another company.
So, for example, EDF or British Gas, or they're not letting go.
They're not letting them switch. They're blocking the switch.
Do you know of anything about a relationship between Solarplicity and Toto, a commercial relationship?
I do actually still think they're involved with each other. it actually states on one email they are in partnership with each other now.
Right.
But I think I've seen on Company House there's an address that's both registered to the two of them. One address with two different company names.
So Solarplicity sold their probably the most prized asset, which is the contracts of everybody in this city that they've got, to Toto before they went bankrupt. But actually, there seems to be some sort of commercial relationship between these two companies as well.
I think so, definitely, yeah. Well, it still says they're still in partnership with each other.
Right.
So they are.
But we know that a different part of Solarplicity is still working in Stoke,
We certainly do.
which is this solar panel element of it, not the energy supply. We know because they've gone into bankruptcy that Ofgem has stopped their licence, they're not allowed to supply energy to any house, but they're still putting solar panels.
Yeah. At the moment I'm having a problem with the council and Solarplicity because I want new meters put in by EDF.
Right.
Now they can't touch my meters because Solarplicity put their solar fuse box in front of my meter.
Right.
So they can't touch the solar panel box because
Right.
they're not trained.
Yes.
And now I've emailed Ross Mitchell, who've now told me that Solarplicity can't come, well they can come out, they can tell EDF what to do, but they can't touch the box themselves because they've got no licence and they need a MOPTA licence.
So you're trapped
I'm trapped because no one will touch each other's boxes.
So tell me about the instances now that's occurring within Stoke that we have Solarplicity putting solar panels up still today on roofs of residential houses. I understand that they've been receiving phone calls from Solarplicity saying that they should do this. Have you heard this?
A lot of people have been having a lot of threatening phone calls. One lady who's 91 actually said that somebody turned up at the door and told her if she didn't have these panels, she would have her windows and her front door put through. This was less than a week ago, and she's 91 and she lives on her own. So these are the vulnerable people. I think there's about 10, 20 a day where people complaining now as they're getting harassing calls saying they have got to have them, and if they don't as well, the council will evict them.
That they're being told that
They are
by
being told,
Solarplicity.
yeah, that they will be evicted because they are breaching the contract that they signed on the iPad. But no one's ever seen this contract.
Because it's buried within the electronic system of an iPad.
Yeah.
They've never been given a hard copy.
No.
Right. Well, thank you very much for talking to me. And
You're welcome.
thank you.